Tämä maa, jolla seisomme, on puhtaan lootuksen maa. Ja juuri tämä ruumis on Buddha. Yesterday Buddha points to the ground. As it does today. Or he, she. Yesterday I noticed that there was one smile was missing from the case I read. So the koan case, we finished like Indra took a stem of grass, stuck it in the ground and said, "The temple is built." And I was right. I accidentally cut away this smile, famous smile. So the koan ends, the Buddha smiled. Buddha's smile is as famous as Mona Lisa's smile. Everybody knows that Buddha smiles, and it's a kind of what is behind this smile? In this koan, we can assume that Buddha, I don't think if this is sarcastic smile or anything like such. It's probably like the one that we meet, for example in koan Mumonka number 6, where the Buddha holds the flower. And Mahakasyapa is smiling. The smile is spontaneous. It just comes like a spring, like a flower itself. This koan we yesterday read also has verse, and why don't we read it? On the 100 grass tips, boundless spring, taking what is at hand, use it freely. Buddha's 16-foot golden body of manifold merit, spontaneously extending a hand, enters the red dust. Within the dust, he can be host. Coming from another world, naturally he is guest. Wherever you are, be content with your role. Dislike not those more adept than you. More adept than you. It was maybe a week before Sesshin, or less. We had at home, maybe it was more, around week, let's say. We had at home 2 dogs, they were like, Josephine was dog sitting them, but they were there 1 week, and so I was also kind of included in the pack. and the one was like a bear, very kind of. The other one was like a sausage. And they were making a lot of noise. I mean, they were kind of human sounds. Like when they were sleeping, it really was like a loud snoring. Anyway, it was after a few days they've been there, and I sort of had accepted almost that they are part of the picture, and I felt sort of a friend with them a little bit, if that's the right word. And then this is a very strange story, so excuse me. But then I was one night I went to toilet. I had to go there. Natural thing, and I was sitting there on the toilet, and I left the door a little bit open for some reason because it was dark, and I took some light from the. This is not so many details necessary, maybe, but. But the thing why door was open, that's crucial, of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't mention it. Because those two dogs, they were sleeping. They were walking, of course. There are also night times, but they were sleeping just behind the bedroom door, and they were snoring literally. There was the little air can go behind the door, and they put their nose there, and they were snoring loudly. But anyway, they recognized that I was now in the toilet, and since I felt very much that now we have become a little bit friends, I was kind of assuming that they will at least pass the door a little bit and say hello or something, like notice me. And I was sitting there and smiling because I was waiting them. The sausage one, at least, I was waiting that she will come, because she was more active like that, but nothing happened. I mean, maybe something happened, but the dog didn't come, and I was smiling there still and waiting, and that she would say hello, because we are friends. But no, she was just sleeping there or lying there behind the door, and my world crushed. No, not really. But it was interesting how split of the second I was really like disappointed, because I felt that I am important, that they of course will come and say hello if I go to toilet, and but they didn't. I think Josephine was more important because she was the pack leader, and they just ignored this time myself. But it was interesting because maybe because it was night and I was all kind of sleepy and didn't think so much. It was like this feeling of suddenly I felt while sitting there still, and nothing happened. I mean, the dog didn't show up, and that was a big disappointment suddenly. And I felt like nobody, and that I'm not important. Sounds so stupid. Anyway, and it was kind of feeling of, I felt like that, oh, my bones are here, my skin is here, and all these ingredients that this body has built up with in insistence, and those hard and whatever there is. We have a doctor, he can tell us what we have. But there was that kind of, I went through those, kind of this skin back, and just the moment when I had this feeling of that I'm nobody, and this bag of skin and bones is not important. It was very, at the same time, it was really big, don't take me wrong now, relief. Although I was sitting in the toilet, that was not what I mean. It was a big relief to be nobody. It's funny, because it was this dog that didn't show up, and I was so disappointed just a second, and then was big relief. Because I wasn't important. And this being not important felt like freedom. It was suddenly the whole world was there, and I wasn't like kind of a center, at the center there. Dogs were there, and it was just one big being there. So I would say that Josephine is more adept than I am with the dogs, which it's true. And there was this, as I said, a split of a second. I felt like second. I mean, I wasn't the one. So easily it comes, those feelings that when we don't get what we assume, what we are waiting for to happen, and that doesn't happen, there is this little shock. Your being is not recognized as you would like it to be. And of course, these things happens all day long. Probably in Sesshin as well, you are working in some area, and there is some little thing happens, and you feel that you left unnoticed. In many ways, we are looking for that comforting recognition. But it's interesting how most likely it would feel much more easy if we don't need that recognition. We would act more freely. We wouldn't be waiting for some payback. There, in this poem or verse, they says, 100 grass tips, boundless spring. What was the one? There is another koan, actually, I have it here, where they speak, where this same grass tips and Buddha is mentioned. They are so alike that why I would just, that part at least I can borrow from the other koan. So now this Shoyuroku poem, it says, on the 100 grass tips, boundless spring, taking what is at hand, use it freely. And then Mumonkan 40, there is also this poem, and there it says, tossing away, wrong line. There it says, the tip of his foot creates innumerable Buddhas. He is tossing away the bamboo baskets. I mean, maybe we can look even this koan. But this, and I yesterday mentioned also how Buddha touched the ground with the tip of his hand, fingers, creating innumerable Buddhas at the moment, just there. yes, we are in Sesshin, if you don't know that, and this is where we are facing the ultimate question. We can use different wordings. It's of course not those words. It's the heart mind that is calling those words, that is asking silently or without words, just sitting there, sikantasa, silently asking by sitting without any means, without any purpose, without coming or going anywhere. Just sitting here. That's also a huge question. Or you are working with koan. Koan clearly has few letters in it. It can be just mu, which is 2 or 3 letters, depending on how we pronounce it. Or it could be a question or sentence, several sentences. Whatever it is, it's not trivial thing. It's not. There are no koans. None of these practices is less than the other. No practice is smaller than the other practice, or less meaningful. They are equally important. They are equally true. They are equally capable to cut through all doubts that we might have. So what is your question? This our human condition is it's an interesting challenge to have this capability to think and form words. It's a precious gift, we could say, that we can use words and make thoughts and ideas and concepts and all that. But everybody knows that that same thing that can be so rich, make our life rich, also causes us to be prisoned behind those lines of words and concepts. They are really like barrels or those iron rods that are making a cage or a prison. And it also can make us feel safe. Now, just for somewhere pops up a picture of strong steel, thick steel plate, big one, like a wall size. And there is written the word war or bullets, and it's kind of a cut like those letters are cut in the wall. So there is a little light comes through the thick steel through those letters, bullets, for example. And in real, it's very safe if bullets are flying on the other side and you are behind this thick steel. So I don't know what this was meant to mean, but words can feel safe. I mean, using words makes us probably feel more safe. They are definitions. Maybe it's a little bit like, this is like an ongoing, flowing river where we are now, this moment now. Seamless. But we have to kind of make several pictures following each other's, pictures after pictures we are making all the time. We're kind of stopping this flow because we take snapshots and we name those things in the picture. And then we have another picture and another picture. And we name all that we see there. And we put them online, and there is it seems to be exactly like this real river where we are, this flowing now. It looks very similar, but in real it's not exactly as much flowing than this is flowing now. They look so much alike that it's very easy to miss the one from the other. And we pick up this album, picture album, and we turn pages and we read that story that we have made. So in Zen practice, we sit down and we face this flowing here and now. And we try not to take pictures. We try not to capture things that are flowing around and inside and through and all 10 directions. We learn slowly to let them come and go, to let them be as they are. Everything is like a unique, rare animal, every detail here. Never before, never again like this. We are in the midst of the richest possible place never to be, ever to be. This is the true treasure, this is the true richness, just this flowing moment. And we cannot capture it, we cannot take it, we cannot have it. We even cannot name it. Move. So that's because it is so we are not going for somewhere else, obviously. But how can we find our way to here? How can we find our way here? Are we somewhere else? What is it that I am after? Why this is not the answer? What would be the answer you would like to have? Perhaps that I am somehow somewhat special, but I am special, as are you, as are we all. Should I be somewhat more special? A little bit, just a little bit more special than it's okay if everybody is special, if I'm a little bit more special. Yeah, we like to compare, we like to value things, we like to say that this flower arrangement looks better than the other one in somewhere else. Which is true. But what does it mean? What does it mean if some branch is 47.5 centimeter long and the other one is 32? The third one is 27. What does those numbers really mean? Is the big number better? Is the red flower better than green leaf? So yes, we have to measure things, and that's what we do. But what does it mean? Else than the result. So we have everything we need. We have all centimeters already. We have all the colors already here. We have even roof and walls, and the floor. You have this one breath now going out. But if I want to have even more than this, then I am in trouble. Probably because of that picture album that we are making all the time. It creates this storyline, and it creates this person who I am. And that's universally accepted, universally proved that that's how it is, that's how it should be, that everybody has this album and story, who he, she is. What is your status? And of course, this album becomes very dear. And we attach to it. We attach to this story. it can be also full of sadness. It's very pity. We are full of feelings like pityness towards us. It can be that kind of story as well. That I am a loser. I will never make it. That's my share. So we get attached to this album. And we not only attached, but our life is from then on depending on this album. Without it, we feel insecure. We have to take it now and then and go through those pictures. So if this album gets lost, it's a terrible thing. Because who am I then? Nobody. Dogs doesn't say hello to me. Or maybe they does. So this place where this album is slipping through our fingers is full of, it's a fearful, it's a scary place. And that's where we are heading for when we are here in Sesshin. We are practicing here. First we put this album just 5 centimeters. We put it down next to us and we pretend that it's not there. And we taste how it tastes without it. Then we move it 7 centimeters more. And then we take it back quick. It was a bit too much. So we don't have to throw it through the window immediately. We don't have to destroy those pictures hastily. Actually, we can have the book still on the shelf. It's a wonderful book anyway. But this practice is to experience, to witness how it is without that album. How it is. The album is made of just what it is here anyway. So those are very much similar pictures that what we are seeing without collecting them. They are very much similar. We have unlimited amount of untaken pictures. This moment is already. So the temple is built. The temple is built. All right, this was for today. And we make now 3 prostrations.